Hi guys, if you guys want to learn how to do this Inosuke from Demon Slayer look, stay tuned. So hello, jump scare. No wig, no hair. I sometimes hate doing makeup with wigs on, so I just put the wig cap on, that way installment is easier later, so pardon the look, but live with it. I might also preface this video with I was not feeling the best this day, so if the energy is low, that'd be why. I had a sinus infection, still do, so if I sound a little off or a little groggy, that's why. And my rosacea was acting up, and my eyes were watering, and I had a headache, and I was traveling to Tennessee the next day, so I was stressed out about that because I'm driving. So what I like to do when my rosacea is acting up really bad, I use green tea, and it seems to help a lot. Now, in the video, it doesn't look like it. I think my sugar was low or something, so that could be why. I'm also trying this new Misha primer, and overall, it worked how I would expect a primer to. It did have a very strong smell, and it was almost too moisturizing in some parts after I baked. So I have to do a second opinion, like a second try on that, because there's a 50-50 chance that it gave me hives from the fragrance. I'm not sure. I am not entirely sure. I'm also purging because of a new acne medication I'm on, so it could have been that. I don't know. So I'm collecting myself. This is also the second time I filmed this video. First time just was not working with me, and I like to put out stuff that I am proud of, and I was not proud of that video. This is a gel eyeliner by Matte, M-A-T-D-E. Lashes, I think is the name of the brand. I'll link it below. I'll link everything below. And I love their products. They have a white eyeliner and then this eyeliner that I'm in love with. And I know they're sold out a lot, which kind of sucks. So don't you go out and sell. All three of you. Now, with my cosplays, I do find that I get a lot of compliments on like quality when I do my eyebrows in a more ombre effect. Now I know it's very 2016, but it works. People seem to like it. It seems to be a lot more visually interesting if you're like me and you'd like to do a what would this character look like in the real world, and you're not entirely accurate. Who keeps on calling me? Oh, my boyfriend. So the trick here is to actually let the product dry on the brush a little bit and then bring it forward to the front of your eyebrow as it's drying down. That way it's not as intense, if that makes any sense. Also going in with a very light hand in the front helps too. And then I use a spoolie to kind of brush it out, kind of make me de-intensify it, whatever. And then as far as the tawniness from my actual blonde eyebrows, we're going to go in with mascara in a second to set them and take care of that. Now my eyebrows are tattooed, so I know for a fact I'm not going to be able to get all that pigment out, but it did the job, we'll say. So this is actually a bottom lash mascara that I've been using, but it's a light enough weight mascara that it doesn't goop, which is the point. So I like to use it on my eyebrows when I have dark eyebrows for cosplays. So I like to brush up in the front and then directly out in like the rest of my eyebrow. And then I run across the top of the eyebrow to kind of lay them down because I have long hairs and I don't like trimming my eyebrows. They look too harsh then. So brush up and then go across the top. So I know that anime style for Demon Slayer is very traditionally, like for Inosuke, especially as arched eyebrows. I will show you a trick if you have softer features and straight eyebrows naturally and you don't feel like drawing them on. So just do however your eyebrows go. And here I'm putting on the Maybelline Brightening Concealer as a base for my eyeshadow. You can use a primer. Mine's just a little too peachy that I thought it would maybe not look right in the end because I'm doing a very pale base as well. So I went with the lightest concealer I had that was not terribly thick. I don't like it when it's super thick because my eyelids will oil throughout the day and then it gets that like oily crease. So lightweight. This is a contour palette I had. I'm using the lightest shade. It's just a taupe, basically. Taupe shade, and it's a powder, so I just ran it across my entire eyelid. Now I have hooded lids, and I threw on eyelashes later, so for me it doesn't matter what I do on my eyelid really. So I do one color. That's a preference. You do what works for you. But this just gave me a little bit of depth, a little bit of interest on the eyelid without like being pale all over in the end. And then I blend it up as we go. This is a double-ended Sheet Lamb eyeliner pen. I use both ends, so I'll show you. I use the thick end first to do the legwork here, as far as placement and drawing the kind of mapping it out. Now I tug a little bit just because again I have hooded eyelids, and so if I don't, I get like a weird crease and I don't like it. So this is how I do it. And what I'm showing you here is the trick that I was talking about earlier. So you draw the eyelid or the eyeliner. Oh my god, I can't talk. The eyeliner down and then flick it out. So I'll start my wing farther back than I normally would, and I'll just drag while my eyelid is open. For me, this is what works. Your eye shape could be different. It's probably different. Whatever. So work with your anatomy. Do whatever looks good on you. If this is not what your vibe is, do whatever. But for me, I like to emulate the drawing style. And then I go in with the thinner end. This is me going in with the thin end of the eyeliner and filling in. No, this is actually thickened still, I believe. No, this is thin. Sorry. I go in with the thin end of the eyeliner to fill in the gaps, get close to my waterline, and then sharpen the wing itself. And then if I have any mishaps or if they're not like even and blah, 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 I'll go in with a Q-tip and trusty old spit to clean it up. Which is also why I don't do my base first. I can't be a base first girly. So thin end, I love. So you see how even though my eyebrows are straight, they look like they're more arched because our eyeliner is turned downward a little bit. I was trying to show you and I could not get it. So this is a concealer that I transferred into a cushion foundation container. I think it's NYX, NYX, or NYC, I don't remember. Just their palest shade, one of their paler shades. I usually use this for a highlight if I do my makeup normally, because I run a little bit more yellow tone than this. But for this particular makeup look, I actually wanted to be quite pale because Inosuke is quite pale, as we know. This is a little bit more full coverage of a concealer that I'm going in with now to carve out my eyebrows. And I'll be using it to highlight on my face later too. The thing I like about transferring my concealer, like my pump concealer, into a cushion foundation container is just that it can give you a nice sheer look. So it changes the color of your skin without looking cakey and too thick. So like my natural blotchiness is kind of shining through. I shouldn't say blotchiness, like my skin tone's shining through just a tad without looking awful, if that makes any sense. And then I go in with a finger after I carve out my eyebrows, just because this dries really quickly, this particular brand. And I'll blend it into the rest of the concealer there. So I'm going in with a brightening concealer from Maybelline. And then this concealer, I don't remember the brand. It's brand new. I actually like it a lot. But this is just a lot more full coverage. Does what I need it to for my eye bags. And then I blend it up to the side of my nose, so I kind of pre-contour. And I loved how it looked. I won't blend it onto my nose though, just because I like having a little bit of depth on my face, I suppose. Then I go in and bake the heck out of my face. This is the kimchi brightening powder, by the way. I usually use translucent, but I've been liking the brightening powder when I need to look a little bit more pale for cosplays, or like under my eye if I do like a regular day makeup look and I don't want to do, say, concealer. I'll just use the brightening powder and it does the same thing pretty much. And then hold your breath when you do your nose, by the way, with powder. So this is another She Glam eyeshadow palette, and then I'm using this really tiny brush and some Fix-It spray to saturate this, just so that they're a little bit more vibrant when I'm placing them on. Now, this is something I prefer to do for colored-eyed, like distinctive colored-eyed characters when I don't feel like wearing contacts. I'm actually new to the contact game. I don't seem to like them. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna give it a whirl at my next convention that I go to, I think. But they don't like me. I don't like them. I think it's because I have an astigmatism, which if you're from the optical world, you know that contact lenses are not made for people with astigmatisms. It's not shaped for your eyes. So I'm just going along my lower lash line. This is, again, a preference I like to do. I have hooded eyes, so if I did anything on top, it would have to kind of be a little excessive for this character, I think. That's my interpretation. So I just went in along the bottom. I went in with his eye color, which is green. And then I went in with the navy just to marry my lower... Okay, how do I say this? My outer half of my lower lash line with my upper lid eyeliner. Like you can see it right there. I flick out a little bit just so that it creates that shape. Now, you don't have to do this, and honestly, for a convention, I wouldn't, but I was taking pictures, so I wanted a little bit more of a finished look, I suppose. And then, again, I wouldn't do this at a convention, I don't think. And if I did, I wouldn't use gel or a pencil liner on my waterline. I would actually have dried my waterline and then done eyeshadow and stamped it on. It stays a lot longer, in my opinion. Fun fact. But for what I needed it to do, I just did this. And then I went in with mascara, which is curled and, applied mascara. Which you could leave this look here, honestly, just because there is so much hair around your face. I don't think it mattered that much. But I gooped up. You can see, I was done. So I applied to both top and bottom lashes. And like I was saying, you can totally leave it here, especially if your eyelashes curl really nicely. I would recommend, if you do just mascara, do a thinner eyeliner. I knew I wanted to add a fake lash, so I did a thicker eyeliner. And then I went in with a trusty Q-tip. Almost a crusty. That's the difference in this case. Just to delete that goop. And then this is my favorite concealer brush. It is so dense, and if you just tap, tap, tap with this Teethy 3-way concealer palette, it has a little bit more of a peachy tone, a brighter tone, and then like a mid-tone in between. I went with the lightest. Again, tap, tap, tap. This formula is so creamy that it blends so well even after you've applied powder. It doesn't pick any of the product up around it, nothing like that. So you just stamp it on. You get that coverage back, and then you go in with the kimchi brightening powder again, and bam. I know you can still tell it's there. I wasn't expecting a perfect fix. However, it did what I needed it to do, and you can't control everything, so I let it go. And then what I like to do, if I'm just doing mascara, I will push them up when they're almost dry so that they keep the curl at the root a little bit better. Because I went in with heaps of mascara to show that you could keep it here. But at the same time, that uncurls my lashes personally. So then I threw on my wig. We propped her up, clipped her up. And then I'm showing you that I have a shirt on. So YouTube, do not demonetize me. And then I went in and I clipped my bangs up. I hated these bangs. Hated. I definitely need to cut the wig, but I didn't have time, so I didn't want to. Then back in with that contour palette. We want to go with a cool tone, not a bronzer. Bronzers are warm tone, contours are cool. You want to go in with a cool tone. Otherwise, you're going to sun yourself up, which if you have a tan, do so. I don't. It was what? It's March in Michigan. Like, no. That's not it for me. And then I'm doing this trick that I actually learned from Korean beauty influencers back like when I was in middle school, when the V shape of your jaw was popular. You go around the bottom half of your face, basically on your cheeks. So like from the hollows of your cheeks to your jawline with a light contour color, and then you deepen whatever shadows you want with a darker one. And what this does is make your face look a little bit more round in that mid part, so like around your eyes and your cheeks. This is not how I would normally do my contour, but for the art style, I wanted to. And then because they have very petite noses in the show, my brain interprets that as pushed up. So I went over the bulbous of my nose and then under, just to round it out a little bit. And what that does is kind of snatch it upward, creates the shadow that interprets as upward, as upturned, that's the word I'm looking for. And then I went back in, like I said earlier, with a little bit of a darker contour shade to define like the hollows of my cheeks and my jawline a little bit more. Also, if you're a pale girly, this palette is lovely, and I will be linking everything below. I don't know if I said that already. But it also smells like chocolate. So it made me very hungry. I don't mind fragrances in my powders, but in my base stuff, I don't. Like my creams, I don't like. I'm going in with a Fit Me blush, Maybelline Fit Me blush. The lightest one I had that was more of a light peachy, very natural flush color. And then I kind of smile when I do this. I have very cheeky cheeks. I don't know how else to say it. They're not defined, but like, they're there. So I don't usually need to smile, but you do what you need to do. And then I ended up going in with a little bit more of a deeper shade just because it wasn't as lively, I suppose, as I like. It looked a little too pale on me. And then what I like to do is go on my chin. If my bangs weren't there, I would go on my forehead too a little bit, and then my nose. Just to, again, give more of like a youthful, more natural and flushed all over effect. Not flushed, I suppose. Flush is like intense is my understanding. This is just, a hint of color, a kiss of color. And then these are the fake lashes I used. You can use whatever you like. And you can do it however you like. Whatever works for you, works for you. Now, I will hopefully have a tutorial coming on how I apply eyelashes, because I cannot do strip lashes just as is. So if you guys want that, actually comment below if you don't mind. Some people don't care, and I get that, so I don't want to produce content that you guys don't give a shit about. And then this e.l.f. lip oil. It's a little bit of a brown, which worked really well, in my opinion, for this look. But I don't think Inosuke would be a pink lip gloss girly. And I didn't line my lips. I actually concealed the outer edge a little bit so they have more of a rosebud ombre effect, I suppose. And then off the TikTok shop, I bought this set of eye shimmer thingies. I like it. They were quite lovely. This is more of a silvery champagne. And I'm placing it on my inner corners to open up my eyes a little bit. So I applied it on the bottom lash line, going inward. I was going to apply it on my top lash line, and maybe for a convention I would, but my eyelashes covered them up. Or covered the placement up, so I figured why bother finishing that off. And then I have an epicanthic fold over my tear duct, so I just followed that like contour that it creates up and onto my lid partly. And again, just look how pretty that is. Honestly, like, if you don't know how to elevate your eye makeup, if it's super simple like this, is one eyeshadow on my eyelid right now. Just throw glitter on, dude. You know? Creates visual interest without, like, I don't know, being too much work, honestly. And then I blend this out just a little bit because it was looking a little harsh. The lines, they were very defined, which is nice sometimes, but for a childlike look, I didn't want it. And this is the final product. So thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Goodbye.